to the Exchange Place podcast, y'all. Hey, y'all. For those of y'all who are actually watching, I know you are wondering where I am. It is literally 2:17 in the morning, and I am laying in my bed. There is no guest. And if I'm honest, I'm not even sure if I'm going to upload this for y'all to hear, but I'm recording it because I promised that this season will be and is a season that I've never seen before. And it's one of transparency and vulnerability, of knowing who and where I am. So if I'm honest, I was not intending to release a podcast this week. I have had a rough week on so many different levels, but majorly had a loss, a huge loss in my family. And typically, Deborah Faith Perry knows how to continue to move on and create even in the midst of having trauma or grief or issues or challenges hit my life. I'm normally the one that continues to go, and I'm trying to take breaks when I need breaks. And in all honesty, I need a break. And I know the season has just begun, but it was a lot this week. Yeah, it's been a lot. But I am allowing you guys a little bit more into my space, into my thought process, and to make or get people to relate, because I think it's something that we don't talk about, especially when people are doing well, or perceived as doing well, or perceived as healed, which again, healing is, we all know healing is a process and it is not a destination. But healing won't protect you from bad days and challenging times. And in this season of restoration for me, it looks like really offering my emotions, my feelings back to God. Really being able to acknowledge where I am, and not only acknowledge where I am, but I feel like I'm in this stage of healing where it is not just self-awareness of where I am, it is true application of putting the things that we talk about into place and being a doer of my own word and not just a speaker of what I know is right. I think so often we are intellectual healers and analytical healers. And let me just explain what I mean by that. I think there are so many of us in a phase of healing where we are 100% able to articulate that we've had trauma or grief, or that we experience hurt and disappointment, and we articulate it well. We know the right things to say. We are so analytical, and to hear that, depending on what ear people are listening with, we almost think that those people are at different stages of healing than they possibly are. And I've been there. Don't get me wrong. I've been there where I knew I was self-aware of where I was, but there was no application. It is 100% possible to have the right things and words to say, but not know how to implement them in your life, and to know the right thing to do, but not know how to do it in existing relationships, even application in your own life of being vulnerable, acknowledging where you are. And this week has been a tester of that for me. I will say, for those who are listening, that healing does not make you exempt from challenging days or weeks or situations. It is the application of when those hard days or situations come, how you handle yourself. It is the demonstration of what you learn in the intellectual stage being applied to the existing or new situation. Yeah. So it was not my intention to, and it's still not. I'm not even sure if you guys get to hear this. I hope you do. But I do want to talk about that because I think we're all in different stages of healing, and I know we don't talk about that as often. There are a whole lot of people screaming that they are healed, and the tester of your healing will be situational, of how you handle those that God sends you, how you handle the situations that you are placed in. And today I was proud of myself. I was proud to have canceled my recording of the podcast. I was proud to have really just taken a walk and not got busy, not resorted to things that I've resorted to in the past when grief comes in, not doing the same things and doing the same behaviors when I feel sad, when I feel disappointed, not lashing out, but processing and being gentle and kind to me. In my past, there was something that I got from being the strong person who never seemed fazed by life or grief or challenges. I prided myself on the fact that I was able to keep going, and never realizing that part of me was slowly, literally killing me. And now I pride myself on being or having the ability to stop and breathe, to take time out for me to acknowledge how I feel in that moment and not ignore how I feel in that moment. So I wouldn't even call this necessarily an episode. I would call this my early morning. This is normally my prayer time and my journaling time, but I really felt led to record this for those, whether you are in the intellectual place of healing, or you are in the application or demonstration place of healing. I will tell you that I liked the intellectual space of healing a little bit more than this place of application and demonstration. It feels harder in some senses. It feels like you really have to show and prove, not to anybody else, but to yourself, where you are. There's a level of accountability to you that does not involve anybody else. It's one thing to be accountable to someone else. It is another to really have a level of accountability with you, and really have a level of accountability that it's almost like there's nobody else watching, but you are watching you. I don't know if that even makes sense, but yeah, this one is hard. I thought I felt lonely during, I guess, my intellectual stage of healing, where I felt a little bit of being misunderstood, and just like I was leaving people behind because they didn't get me anymore. But this demonstration thing and actually applying what I know, when I'm watching, and it's not like somebody else is watching me where they can say, hey, 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 you know what I mean? But when I'm being accountable, really accountable to me, it's huge. It's lonely. It is great to get clarity, but what I'm finding with clarity, or the more clear I get, I feel like the clearer that I get, it causes me to continue to choose me, which is not a bad thing. I think in trying to acquire or pursue new relationships, it is evident that there are so many people who have never experienced healthy love, clear and healthy communication skills. And though me, myself, I'm learning what healthy love looks like, clear and healthy communication looks like. I'm so confident in where I am. I'm so clear, and I keep getting clearer, but I'm so clear with what my standards are to those I allow in my life, those I pursue during this time of transition and season of life. I'm so clear in that it weans out some relationships that I would even want to keep, if I'm honest. And it can be disappointing at times. It can be downright discouraging. So I don't know where you are in this healing journey. I would just encourage you to get in places and spaces and circles where there is reciprocity, where there is willingness on all levels, where there are people who are kind and gentle, and that where there is love that covers, where there is love that does not keep count, where there's love that is patient and kind, and there is a place that is safe for you to grow. So I love y'all, and I will 100% see you next week. Keep me and my family in prayer. I'll talk to you soon.